My name is Brian and welcome back to Desert Theory. Well, tonight we have a lot of fun stuff going on. We have Kelly. He is taking this radiator out. Now I was gonna do this when he was gone, but I never made it out here. So the point of taking this out is a couple things. One, we wanna take this radiator out and inspect it. It's been in there for a long time, we're guessing, we don't know, so it's just a good thing to go through. Two, we're gonna take some of this stuff apart and we're going to replace hoses, inspect radiator, take off shocks, and then we're going to use that Steel-It to paint the back of this car to where we're not having those rust issues if we have a wet race. And it doesn't matter where you go desert racing, what organization right now, it just seems to be a lot of water. Baja 1000 is going on right now, and there was huge mud flats over silt beds. It's just been a weird year for desert racing. There's been a lot of mud. So just a good time to do that while we have everything apart. In the description of this video, we are going to have a link to our new website. And the new website's going to sell some shirts, sweatshirts, and a tumbler. Now, this is Desert Theory Road to the Hammer shirt. This is a pretty neat deal, and every shirt you buy will be just a few dollars to help us. So it's like your mini sponsorship to us to help support our channel and help support our efforts to get to the King of the Hammers. Okay, so tonight we also have a special guest appearance from Walt. Walt is our can fix anything guy, tractor, chainsaw, but he's also tonight, he's helping us with our intake manifold. So we had a lot of issues with this when Seth took it apart. He had a lot of issues with it. Real rough inside, gaskets were wrong. Seth thought just in this piece alone that we were gonna be able to gain about 35 horsepower. Now, part of the reason is everything was just really rough. For air to travel across all this, it just took more effort. And then also the gasket that was on here was just completely wrong. So it really choked down the size of these holes even more. So new gaskets going on. Walt's taking care of that roughness. He's gonna get going on that again. He's kind of stopped for the camera, so thank you, Walt. So we talked about the intake manifold gasket right there, and we didn't really mention how severe it was. So not only was it not the proper size, but it wasn't a good fit. It sat way too, it's hard because we've scraped it all off now, but it sat really low. So what Seth said was happening is we had a leak there. So it was a vacuum leak, and so it wasn't coming through the filter down into here, down through here and into the top of the cylinder. It was bypassing the filter and coming straight into here. So no filter, no nothing, just into the top of the cylinder. It's not good.
And it can make the engine really run lean, right? I mean, you could lean out a cylinder and put a hole in a piston pretty quick with vacuum leak of any kind like that. And, you know, let alone the issues with dirt that could come in there. So super glad we took that apart and we're going to fix that issue.
Yeah, so when you take something apart and it's time to do it, but you see what it saved you in doing it. If we would have tried to race, if the race would have been farther, if just a number of circumstances, we just really feel like we got fortunate on that. So glad we're doing that. It was definitely time. We didn't have any time to spare on that. So pretty cool. But thanks to Walt for coming out here and spending his time helping us. So Walt's just kind of set a flashlight up down below so it kind of shines and you can really see in here and see the work he's doing. You can see he's taking off all those big edges and real rough spots. And then he's going to take, and then when he's done with that, he's just going to kind of take a sander to it and smooth it down even more. But you can see the amount of metal he's taken off so far. Quite a bit.
I can't finish that pumpkin patch weekend. She brought it out. Okay.
So Gail put a sticker on the car for us, Kelly's mom. I'm not sure that's a lucky thing to put on your race car.
No, I haven't got to peeling it off yet.
I think we're going to knock on some wood and peel that off and get rid of it. But race car spelled backwards is race car.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm cool with that.
All right, Kelly just pulled the radiator out of there.
He definitely needs a good bath.
Yeah, she is filthy. You see it says something on here, but
I think it's Ron Davis.
Ron Davis.
Yeah, it's stamped in the top here, Ron Davis radiators. So
yeah, very nice looking piece.
It's a nice piece.
Just a little dirty. We need to clean her up.
Get all clean.
Okay, so with that radiator out, you can really see just how nasty this was down in here. So rocks. I mean, this even having rocks in there, right? That can start wearing on that aluminum, and it's just
got a rubber pad, but yeah, it's just full of dirt and rocks, and
it's just really cool. Kelly and I talk about it all the time. We've never had a race car that's this dirty, and part of it was because it sat for so long, and part of it was from the very first race we had, or the third race we had actually was that. So that was the muddiest race we've ever had. So really nice getting in here, getting this cleaned up, getting that steeling on there, and we're both feeling a lot better. It's just more like our car every time we take something else apart.
Yeah, we'll get it all cleaned up. It also gets your eyes on all these hoses and wires, and you know, you get a touch and look at every little component in here and make sure it's good for the next race. So this is some place we haven't been yet on this car, and so yeah, we're gonna replace all the hoses, go through the wiring, so it'll be good.
Okay, so the next thing we're doing is taking out this metal mesh, and the reason that's there is to protect the radiator from rocks coming into the window past us, and it hits that instead of going into the front of the radiator. So, but we have to get that out just to clean in here. It's a hot mess, and we need it out. So, some zip ties, couple Zeus fasteners, and out of there. So we got really close to being able to get this out, but it's just too tight. It's hung up here. That cover for the fuel cell is just holding it up. So it's kind of that, what do you fight? You're gonna fight it going back together anyway. So I think we're gonna remove the bottom skid plate, move the seats forward, and then we'll be able to get to that. So it's just kind of a fight on a race car, getting in there. Everything's so compacted together to make it, put a lot of stuff in a small package, I guess you would say. So that's what we're kind of fighting right now. Okay, finally got this thing out of here. This was way harder to get out of here than it should be. Kind of show you why here in just a second. All right, what we ended up fighting on that is it was really tight right here between the frame and the top of the fuel cell. And it's kind of tight because I didn't see these fasteners here. So that's what was holding that all pinched in. You might trim that up or bend that a little bit more, but it wasn't a very good fit. Kelly's pulling more hoses out.
This is the vent hose for the dry sump.
This is a great big old vent hose for the dry sump.
Yeah.
We're gonna leave that the same, or are we replacing that too?
I guess it depends on how much money we have left. It's just a vent hose, but so there's no pressure in it, right, Brian?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. No pressure.
The other thing we could do is just not, it doesn't need to be stainless braid. It could be like a nylon braid, which is a lot cheaper.
There you go.
And then then it doesn't have to have this union. Is it got cut, you know? So,
yeah.
You know, we could do a cheaper hose.
That's a great point. Yep.
Just a vent.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no pressure.
It's just all the little things in racing like this, and everything takes time. And Kelly and I are both at a time where we have young kids, lots of basketball. I didn't get here till later tonight because we were at another basketball meeting. So it's really cool when your friends come out and help and donate their time. It means a lot because it really gets us to a spot to where we can race. And between some of the guys that help us pit, some of the guys that help us in the shop, some of the people and family that give us some sponsorship kind of behind the scenes that really get us to these races. So it's really a friends and family event, more so I think than I've ever been able to show on our videos so far. So pretty neat. To the guys that do this sport on their own, maybe they have a friend over every once in a while, but the majority of their time is spent on their own out here. Man, I just so much respect to be able to do this all by yourself. Pretty crazy. So I really enjoy having this guy here every night with me. All right, so I feel a little guilty. I've been talking about stuff that's not even related to racing. Kelly has been cleaning like a madman, but man, it is really looking good in here. Lots to go. Lots to go, don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, it's still a mess, but I mean, just getting a lot of this stuff cleaner, degreased.
Again, if you guys remember some of our stuff from last year, Fishgistics on the Baja 1000 reporting. So kind of listening to that, wishing we were there. Bucket list for sure, going to that someday. So we're both sitting here so happy that he's taking all the time to do that. Menzies is running great up front. Luke McMillan though,
He's right on. I mean, he's not far out. He's in striking distance.
So
it's a lot of racing.
Yeah. So really coming together. Kelly and I were just talking. So we're gonna try and take the back of the car from this frame, and then I think we're gonna take the lid off, the roof off, and do those tubes too. So we're gonna spray it with the Steel-It all the way back here, probably remove the shocks, take the arms off, get those. So that's the plan while the motor's being built. So just a lot of people to thank that our motor is out and getting built. Kelly and I could not have afforded to have done that on our own. We're too busy with sports and family, and the budget's just not there. But thanks to our title sponsor, who we can't mention yet, lots of news coming soon about that. Super excited to be partnering with them. Neat company. I think it's going to be a great fit. Connect Toolboxes, Edge Construction, Anapro. Lots of great sponsors that have all got us here. We can't thank them enough. And we also can't thank you enough, because we wouldn't have sponsors unless we had people watching our YouTube channel, our Instagram stuff. So thanks to you guys for making this possible. Okay, so this is just kind of an interesting way to see the car, because it doesn't have the motor, doesn't have the transaxle, doesn't have the axles. So it really, you get to see what a car looks like when it doesn't have the proper weight to have the sag set the way it's supposed to. So now you take all this weight away, the car just completely jacks itself up, limit straps are tight. And so say the motor and the transaxle were in the car, this would be a horrible setup, because you want to be some ways through the stroke of your travel and to where the tire can drop down when you go into a hole. So it's just kind of an interesting way to look at that suspension, and kind of a way it usually isn't unless the car is jumping. So Kelly is, I mean, just doing an awesome job.
We're having fun now.
He is not having that much fun. He's kind of trying not to get frustrated, to be honest with you. It's a hard thing right now, because what you want to do is just get in here with a pressure washer and just some way to clean it up good, but it's really hard. We have, you know, all of our exposed cables, wiring. We have most of our lines capped off, but it's just kind of it's that weird thing is, how do you clean this? What's the best way? Take everything apart.
Well, my worry is, like, you put water in a lot of places that it's really difficult to get it back out of again. Yep.
And we're gonna steal it after this, so you don't want that water there. You want to be able to get it clean, get it sanded down, and then spray it.
Yep. So we're just, I mean, but we're also doing like a lot of grime, like
years of grime.
Years of grime.
It's not just our last.
It will not be like this after every time. Yeah, we will not have to do this. Deep clean.
Kelly has this looking really nice. And do we have more to do? Yeah, you can see there's more rust coming up this side. But wow, what a big difference that grime and grit is off of there. Looking really good. That motor's going to be back. This needs to be done by the time the motor's back, so the motor can go in, transaxle in, axles in, and then off to dyno and the Motec guide tuner. So great night tonight. Kelly is sporting the brand new Desert Theory off-road racing sweatshirt. This is the Road to the Hammers. Yes. If he turns around here, you can really see it's got Road to the Hammers. It's got a picture of the car. We both love the way that shirt turned out. Like I said in the description of this video, there will be a link to the website that has these.
Some tumblers, maybe some stickers. We'll throw some cool stuff up on there.
Lots of cool stuff. So get in there and buy it. And every one of those not only helps us spread the word about our channel, it helps us get to the King of the Hammers. So thank you again. So that's it for tonight. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.